Morning, everyone. And Rhonda's right. I was watching you chat. When I get in and I see that there's already a whole bunch of chats on there, I actually delay the start so I can kind of catch up on what's going on. Don't want to come in behind the times here, right? I'm always lurking. I looked at the conversation list like 5 or 10 minutes ago, and there's like one or two things on there. And then I came up here and got ready to sit down and start the live stream, and the screen was just filled. And I said, "Oh, Rhonda's here." Yeah, Bite is far from a baby. He and his sister are going to be 17 next month. Can you believe that? Yeah, well, it's good I got that thing working right. I'm still dialing in the time a little bit, but I'm making improvements. Last week when I reset it, it was losing about a minute a day. This morning when I reset it, it looks like it's losing about half that. So we're just kind of dialing it in a little bit. Well, the interesting thing is these guys don't show any sign of slowing down. So, I mean, Nibble's always been kind of standoffish, I guess is the word I'd use. But except for the fact that they don't run around like lunatics anymore, they're still pretty active and they're up and around and you know bite. And I think Nibble, and in many cases, they spend the night out here in the living room sleeping on the couch rather than in their room. Yeah, I guess we'll be changing back on the daylight savings time here pretty quick. You're right. I don't know. I think they just need to put it on there and leave it on daylight savings. It never really made any sense in the first place. Yeah, putting down pets is hard, I know. Unfortunately, it's the reward you get for taking such good care of your pets that they live a long time that eventually their body just gives out. They were out in the wild, this guy would have been gone a long time ago. Well, like I said, I got the grandfather clock about 99%. It's not perfectly set on the time yet, but we're working on that. And the antique clock that I got from my great grandmother, I guess it belonged to her, um, is in the shop. You'll hear about that in a few weeks. I started the vlog on it, but kind of um, you know paused it until we get it back from them from the clock worker. But that'll be about 6 weeks, so you'll see that then. But I was unsure if I was going to be able to do anything with that one. And honestly, after the live stream last week, we talked about it a little bit. And that afternoon, I did manage to get the clock removed from the enclosure and could indeed verify that the main spring was broken. So it's in getting the spring repaired. And I guess the guy's going to give it an overhaul, take it apart, gear all the pieces, oil everything, and put it back together. And hopefully, we'll get another 20 years out of it. At least that's what he says. That would be good. He even has an alternative for the broken glass. Let's put this around here. It's getting a little out of my viewing range here. You know, you're Tracy's favorite online cat. Did you know that? Did you even know that you're an online cat? Yeah. I pull him off the camera, and then he gets jealous and has to come over and get a little bit more attention. Yeah, well, I was really happy that I was able to fix the grandfather clock on my own. And the truth is, just in the last week, I learned a lot more about the other clock, the one that the really, really old one. First off, it's 140 years old. I was always under the impression it came from some clockmaker in Sweden. It turns out it's just some company in Connecticut that in those days was building really elaborate but very inexpensive clocks for people's for their mantle. And yeah, it's funny. You can actually go online if you know the name of the clockmaker and the model name. You can actually go find people that will sell you that clock. But unfortunately, it isn't terribly rare. You know, I thought, oh, this might be worth some money. You know, they're trying to sell them on eBay for $200, and nobody's buying them. So whatever it is, it isn't valuable from a financial standpoint, but it's still, it's still a family heirloom. So it's definitely worth, it's definitely worth getting fixed. In fact, I'm going to spend more money fixing this one than it would take to buy a new one. Well, not a new one, buy another one. Yeah, Nibble just does her thing. Sometimes she shows up, sometimes she doesn't. Yeah, yeah, the plant is still alive. In fact, let's see, you can kind of see it right there. It's growing up you remember that rack that I built for my hot sauce? Yeah, it's just growing up the side of that, and it's all the way up to the top there. So yeah, that's it. That was the one plant that I brought with me from California that survived. And it's funny, that was just a leaf clipping. You know, I took a leaf off of the plant, put it in a glass of water, and brought it to Texas in that little glass of water, and then planted it when I got here. And yeah, I think those things are like virtually impossible to kill because the vine is, 10 feet long now. Hey, Paul, or Eric, how's it going, buddy? Free seeds, never a bad thing. Gonna go to the mall and Goodwill hunting, huh? Morning, Mark. How are you? You know, one of the funny things about the plant here, I'm sorry, my screen is flipped on me now, so I'm having a hard time figuring out where I need to point because everything's backwards now for me. But you know, that plant, I had that thing. Like I said, I got that thing when I moved into my first apartment. When I moved out on my own, probably what, got to be 40 years ago, 45 years ago. And my mom got that for me as a housewarming present when I moved out. Somehow I moved out into the apartment the first time, and somehow I managed to not kill it off. And it survived long enough that I ended up bringing it to the first house in California. I kept it alive in the kitchen for a while, and then when I built the patio cover, I put it under the patio cover and just let it go wild, and it went wild. You don't know it, but those things will grow under ideal growing conditions. Will grow long and hard, big giant leaves. I mean, the leaves were 18, 20 inches long on this thing. You don't think that thing will do that, but it will. Very hard to kill, I think. Let me get my water here so I can get at it. I got a bit of a drinking problem after all. Oh, I've never been that secretive about how old I am. Yeah, I do. I like plants too. I don't have a whole lot indoors. I think mainly because I'm concerned about these guys eating them. In fact, I think on a live stream a year or two ago, I actually took that plant that I have in the kitchen window out the back and put it on this thing for the live stream. I forgot to take it away after the live stream was over, and Bite and Nibble were chewing on it. So, well, that's the only reason I do these live streams, Ron, is to have Charlotte laugh at me. Fortunately, the cats stay away from the kitchen counter, so there's no problem with the plant there. And I'm just going to let it kind of, we'll build little braces to hold it, and we'll just let it crawl around the ceiling here. Who knows? At some point, it may come out, out into the living room here. Filming the playoff games. That's cool. You're getting there, man. Logan's not in a good mood today. All right, we're gonna have some fireworks today. Woohoo! Yeah, somebody actually put a recipe on the Facebook page this morning that looked pretty good. I may try that. It looked like it was kind of like a pan cooked lasagna, but it was all the stuff with lasagna. You get meat, your onions, your cheeses, but instead of using lasagna noodles, it was using like bow tie noodles. Looked pretty good. I might try that. Nah, tells you off in Spanish. That's awesome. Yeah, that's what I thought, Gene. Enchiladas sound good too. Sloppy Joes sound good too. Fresh buns for the sloppy joes. That sounds good too. It's supposed to get into like the 70s, I think, today, but we were really cold last night. It was like in the low 40s. It's supposed to be extra cold again tonight, and then we'll kind of warm up a little bit. They're saying maybe like the low 80s by the end of the week. Texas can't make up its mind what it wants to do with the weather. I love tuna melts too. Oh man, tuna melts are great. To make them with like sourdough English muffins, a little cheese, a little tuna, and then put it in the toaster oven for a few minutes. I'd actually toast the English muffins first, and then assemble the whole thing, put the tuna and the cheese on top of it, throw it in the toaster oven for a few more minutes, and it's awesome. I love tuna melts. Finally got a little winter, and then yeah, they're really good. It's just a little handful snack. And if you want a meal, you probably have to make two of them, but you know, good eating. Yeah, I can see it on rye bread too. I'm not as much of a rye bread person. I'm a sourdough person. Yes, it is. It's a good comfort food. You could do that too. Yeah. I guess it's been a while since you've had a kitty treat, huh? Dropped that one, didn't I? Dropped that one, didn't I? Gotta buy his love. Sometimes I mess with him when I don't let go of it. Make him work for it. And you dropped that one too, didn't you? The other one was a little bit my fault, but you lost power again at the store. They gotta fix that. That can't be good for all the stuff in the freezer. Now I gotta say I've never dipped French bread in hot chocolate. Yeah. Oh, now I'm getting scolded by Logan. I kind of have to do that a little bit, Logan, because otherwise, if he doesn't have to work for his food a little bit, he's going to even get fatter than he already is. See, we're exercising both of the important muscles and bite his neck and his jaw. At least she's not telling me off in Spanish. Yeah, exactly. Got to keep the kitty neck firm. Well, you got to make her get back into bed and get out of the right side. I mean, that's easy to fix. That's awesome. I read a story once that when the TV show Mork and Mindy was on the air, they actually had to have bilingual censors because Robin Williams would insert vulgar language in from other language or vulgar words from other languages into some of his nonsensical, rantings that he would do during the show, and they had to hire a bilingual, multilingual censor to catch all that. I think in terms of the lights that are on the flag behind me, not so much because I don't think they're that aware of them. But I do have one of those little laser pointers, and I can keep the cats occupied for hours with that. In fact, I got a funny photo that I shot years ago in the house in California, where I actually have a real laser, a real gas laser, and I projected it on the wall about 4 feet off the ground. And I got a picture of Bite jumping, trying to grab it, caught him in midair. Actually, let me see if I can find that photo because I can pull in stuff now. I did that a little bit last week. Let me see if I can find that photo of Bite jumping in the air. Give me a second. It's just going to be looking, and then if I find it, we'll see what happens here. Let's see, where is it going to be? I think I might have had it as a profile picture, so let me see if I can find it there. No. Sorry for me neglecting you there for a minute. I want to show you that picture because it was kind of funny. Maybe it's in there. No, I don't see that one. I don't know. We tried. I got it somewhere. Maybe I'll post it in Facebook if I find it. Yeah, I've done that with my laser pointer too. You go when the cat's going, trying to watch it. I know I got the picture somewhere. And I could have sworn it was on Facebook somewhere. My problem is I've got so many pictures of on Facebook that it's hard to find stuff sometimes. I don't know. I'm looking again. We'll see. Kind of looking at kind of the different categories to see if anything looks right. No, I don't see it. I don't know. It's got to be there somewhere. Yeah, that's probably right, Yvonne. It'll pop up at some point. Hey, there's Darth. It was kind of blowing last night too. It was only supposed to get into the 40s, but with like the wind chill factor, it was actually really bad yesterday morning when I got out of the car and had to walk into work. Oh, we've just been talking about things, Darth. Yeah, we've been talking about you. That's exactly what it was. Everyone, you got to stop now. We can't talk about Darth anymore. That's a decent little dusting. Yeah, what you got to do, Darth, is when you come on here, you got to lurk for a minute to get the full idea of what we're talking about. Is it? Let's see what the weather looks like up there. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's it right there. Oh, that kind of cloud looking stuff there. That's all snow. Lucky you, Rhonda. Can I sense your presence? Only if you've been eating beans. That's a decent amount of snow too, John. Yeah, I know. That's got to be the theme song for Darth, the Imperial March from Star Wars. Jaws is a good one too. Yeah, I guess that's right. The solar eclipse is kind of going through Vermont. It's kind of going up that way through the states. It's going to go right through the middle of Waco. I can't wait for that. We're actually talking about it now. They're Waco. I can't wait for that. Um, we're actually talking about it now. The company is actually going to let people come out and observe it when it's happening and stuff like that. And it's big news right now. It's the whole town of Waco is getting ready for it. So um, I hope the weather cooperates. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Mark. I appreciate that. Okay, Rhonda said her pictures in Facebook. I should be able to pull that up now. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, play with this new feature here. Why is it not letting me do this? Okay, that's what I gotta do. Okay, so yeah, there's the picture that Rhonda just sent. So yeah, that's a nice little dusting of snow. It doesn't look like it's gotten to the point where um, it's coming causing trouble on the streets yet. Just a little bit of a snow just to make everything nice and pretty. That's pretty cool. So I don't know. Let's get back to the real thing here. You all saw that, right? Oh, the black ice can really cause issues. I've gotten entangled up a little bit in black ice here in Texas too. I was making a left turn on my way to work one day, and I thought I was going nice and slow, but halfway through the turn, I started drifting. And I said, "Oh, here we go." Fortunately, I stopped before I hit anything, but I think I've seen people talk about that too, Gene, where they will get in the water on inner tubes and then watch Jaws. I always think it would be funny to be somebody like in scuba gear going under people and grabbing them just to see what happens. I don't think there's been any more rain. I don't know. I haven't really watched. They haven't been talking about it on TV. So, so they don't want to go out and play in the snow, huh? I've never been ice fishing. Yeah, I think I might have seen that picture too, Yvonne. There is more rain today. Let's take a look. I gotta admit, I have not looked. Oh yeah, I guess there is more coming in. This looks like it's kind of going more northwest or northeast, so it might hit like the upper tip of Northern California, but it looks like it's mainly headed towards Oregon and Washington. I was looking at this though, and I was in there. Look what's happening to Florida right now. Got a lot of rain in Florida right now, and it looks like it's gonna for a while too. Wish I was in Florida right now. Too cold, huh? I don't know. It's a lot of fun though, girls. Good morning, Scott. Well, I mean, it would be really great for California if not for the fact that they don't have any way of keeping it. So when it rains, when they get these steady rains here, it all just runs out to the ocean. I mean, California is just really stupid when it comes to stuff like that. That could happen, Yvonne, where as they go, they kind of move south. Haven't talked to my sister in well, probably since the funeral. We're not people that they kind of just sit and talk with each other. I know the whole state is almost gone. No, the problem is much bigger than Newsom because it's been going back decades. That predates Newsom by a long ways. I'm sure it probably doesn't, John. I mean, they usually have to say specifically what it is it pays for, and I would guess that falling off a cliff doesn't isn't covered. I mean, I know in California that that most homeowner policies don't cover earthquakes, and earthquakes there you got to have specific earthquake insurance. And I also heard once that based on the earthquake insurance that there's always a spurt of people wanting earthquake insurance right after an earthquake, and the rates always uh, jump right after an earthquake. What you need to do is wait until it's been a year or two since there's been an earthquake, and then you go for the policy. I saw Flash last night. She's hibernating. She's been in the backyard for the last few weeks, but it got really cold last night, so I moved her into the garage last night, and I'll probably leave her in there tonight. And then when we start warming up starting tomorrow, then we can maybe put her outside again. I like to keep her outside when it's just cold, but when it's really cold, I don't want it to get too cold. So She goes into the garage, and in the garage, it stays reasonably warm. It doesn't get much below 50, even if it's, in the teens outside. I assume you're talking about my hair because I don't think you can see anybody else's hair. Work is good. It's a lot of work, but that's why they call it work, right? But it's all worthwhile when I see that paycheck. You're gonna get a hedgehog? That's awesome. Well, all you do right now is see her shell. Doesn't say anything. It's just got a picture of a manta ray on it. Bite's fine. He was out here a little bit ago. I don't know where he is now. Let's see if we can coax him out. I heard a cat jump off of a shelf, so I would say he's probably going to pop around the corner here any second. There he is. Always thinking with his stomach. Aren't you, Bite? Gonna make him run a little bit. We do that one close, make him run out here. You can't even find it. Are you blind? It's like 2 feet in front of you. Yes, it is. I think they can even see it on the camera. You gotta find that one first. I'm not gonna give you another one if there's one on the ground. There you go. Now you found it. Oh, I see Nibble peering around the corner down there too. Let's see if we can coax her out. I don't know if you can even see a little bit of a red face peering right there. That's Nibble. Oh, there she went. Oh, now she's back again. Let's see if we can get her to. There we got her to come out. So yeah, they're still with us. Almost 17 years old, you guys. I gotta try and figure out how to arc it over Bite here. Otherwise, Bite will get all the treats. Don't always get to see her, but she's around. I can't even see her. She's around the corner there. She's gonna look around, see if she can find some more. There's a couple of them back there, so she'll hunt around for a minute, find them. I think there's at least 2 more that I can see. Maybe just one. That one. Wander around, see if she sees anything she missed. I guess that's it, though. so rarely we get to see her. And okay, yeah, there she is a little bit again. She just feels really natural going and hiding in her room, except when the kitty treats are being dished out. I haven't picked up any new rocks recently. However, I thought I was going to go over and check out the rock shop again today. Turns out there's a rock and mineral show coming up in a couple months in May, and I think I want to go see what that's all about. Cats are awake now. Good. That was what I needed to do. You know, that was mostly what that was about, is waking up your cats. When you start your new job tomorrow, good luck. New adventure. Yeah, I have seen the cat treadmills. I can't imagine Bite and Nibble would use them. It's like the hamster wheels, I think, right? Yeah, Nibble's a sweet little kitty. She's very timid. And the cat I had before Bite and Nibble, he was a ginger cat, if you will. Let's see if I can find you a picture of him. I'm sure I have like a cat's directory or cat's picture, something here. No, I don't know. I could have sworn I had a directory or a picture of cats, but oh well. Oh, aquariums are fun. Yeah, there was an aquarium at that place when I did Meow Wolf a couple months ago, but they weren't open yet. Apparently, it was just in the process of being built. I've been to a couple of the Ripley's, believe it or not, museums. They're fun. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on the Democrat side this year, because it's becoming more and more obvious that Biden it isn't there. He isn't there anymore, and it's getting worse and worse. There's some places that'll let you pet sharks. I've pet a shark. It's just a little one, and they're usually they're used to being touched. Logan will bite him back, huh? Oh yeah, everything in California is taxed. You know, you want to renew your car, you're going to have to do a, you know, in California, you want to renew your car for your, you know, get a new license. You're going to have to get a smog check. The smog check's going to cost you, you know, 100 or $150. And if you fail the smog check, then it gets way more complicated. And then once you do finally get the smog check taken care of, then it's going to be um, a you know, it's going to be, you know, 200, $300 to renew the vehicle just based on the value of the vehicle. And in Texas, when it comes time to renew, you have to get a vehicle inspection. But the vehicle inspection is largely subsidized by the state. I think I paid $10 for the vehicle inspection, and it was like $70 to renew the car. So, I mean, just that alone, you know, makes a big difference. There's no state income tax in Texas, which is nice. Now, property taxes are a little bit higher, but the cost of property is less. So, you know, property taxes are based on what, you know, on what the value is, a percentage of what the value of the property is. And so it's a little bit more, but sales tax is a little less, no state income tax, none of the crazy stuff. And we're not paying for all the stupid things they pay for in California. I'd love to go like in a shark cage and look at the sharks up close and personal. Well, with this recent promotion, you know, I'm in better shape financially than I've ever been in my life. So it's nice to be able to, you know, have a little extra money and, you know, go out and just get something fun every once in a while. You know, there's got to be more to life than paying your bills and working. That is a long drive, Mark. I've said it before. I love Texas. I never saw wild sharks. I mean, you saw them in aquariums all the time. I've seen a pod of whales a few times. I don't know about a trip to South Africa. That'd be little bit of a ways there. Yeah, well, I mean, if we saw you gobbling at the window, we'd probably think you're a little screwy too. Put that on my wish list. A trip to South Africa. I don't know. Does Amazon do that? Well, if they don't, it's like the only thing in the world they don't get involved in. I would be interested in going and visiting Australia. That would be fun. There are places I would love to visit internationally, but there are also places I'd like to visit that I don't think I would feel safe visiting. Well, yeah, you always got to watch out for the critters, but I mean, I'd love to go see the Great Pyramids at Giza, but you're not going to catch me in Egypt. No way. Yeah, I've done some backpacking. Israel would be a fun place to go to, but yeah, same thing. Your yeah, couch traveler, huh? Comfy, safe, and cheap, like me. No, I've never been to Atlantic City. I've been to Vegas a number of times. I've only actually left the country. Well, I mean, technically, I guess I've been to Mexico once or twice. I almost don't consider that leaving the country, although it technically is. But I've only actually left the country once, if you don't count Mexico. Well, it's funny. I know more about Waco after living here for a little more than 4 years than I did about the area I lived in California my whole life. I guess it's really the vlogging that's made that possible because it's encouraged me to kind of get out and look around. Yeah, the clock is working pretty well. I'm still dialing in the timing a little bit, but it lost the first week last week when I saw set it right before the live stream. It had lost about it was losing about a minute a day, and so I adjusted it before I started the live stream last week. And then right before I did the live stream today, I looked at it again. It's still losing time, but it only lost about 3 minutes. So I'm making progress. It's going to probably take a couple more weeks to get it dialed in, but I should get it pretty close. And once I get the clock dialed in, timing wise, it's 100%. So I'm very happy I was able to do that on my own. Um, it was funny when I was in the clock place the other day, bringing the other clock, the antique clock, in to get repaired. Um, you remember that platform thing I built for the grandfather clock? That I put the grandfather clock in so I could operate it outside of the enclosure. I got into the shop, and the guy had almost the same exact thing I'd built. I said, "Oh, I know what that is. I have one of those that I built at my house." I don't think Jordan usually posts his lives. He'll go live and then I think a lot of times, he doesn't necessarily delete them, but he just leaves them private. Is this the same Logan that lifted up her shirt to show her what her escaping the mouse T-shirt to the pastor or something like that? I remember that correctly. I don't know. I don't think after what happened with that group going down to the Titanic, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people going to be clamoring to do that anytime soon. Yeah, that's what I thought, Rhonda. Flashing a pastor. That can't be good. Oh, that's not going to happen though. Titanic is part of history. Charlotte's a mellow one, huh? Well, what I heard about that sub is that they'd tried to build it out of carbon fiber, or at least parts of it out of carbon fiber, and carbon fiber is not rated for something like that. Expired carbon fiber, is that what it was? Okay. Well, it is a graveyard, that is true, but it's tough stuff. But I don't think it was ever rated for a submarine, for being used at deep levels on a submarine. That is true. It was over in a heartbeat. Just pop, it's done. They probably never even knew it hit them. All right, Eric's back. Woohoo! I guess we're on to our second water here. That's funny. That image of the abyss. I thought about that too when the submarine popped. You're going to stay on solid ground. Probably good advice. You won't die in a submarine implosion if you don't go into a submarine. Yeah, my dad used to say that too, Yvonne. Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Good luck with the job. Your views are up. Good. Well, you're doing stuff, getting yourself on TV, right? That's inevitable. People are gonna go try and figure out who is this Eric guy. I remember that about the cruise ship that tipped on its side. Wasn't that the one where the captain abandoned ship before everyone else did? Guarantee that guy got fired. I think they tried to prosecute him too, didn't they? Yeah, I don't remember if they actually succeeded or not. Was he drunk? Was that the problem, or was that the Exxon Valdez? Yeah, Gene seems to think they did try. Seems that I remember that. That's what I remember. It could be. I mean, that would be a that would be an explanation for how you run a cruise ship aground. Oh, you're one of those, Eric, huh? You know what I think would be fun to go on a trip on a train. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Just that he ran it aground, and then as the tide went out, then the ship tipped over. Yeah, I rode once when I was younger too. Not necessarily the Orient Express, but That is the secret of life, Eric. You got to impress the ladies. It all comes down to that. That is a good one, Darth. Ridden that a lot of times. Yeah, if he's in jail, yeah, you're right. They must have prosecuted him then. I've been to Hawaii a bunch of times, and yeah, I would love to go and do some vlogging there. Hawaii is a beautiful place. I mean, you can tell just from the videos that I'm running in the background there. That's all Hawaii. It's all Big Island, or mostly Big Island. Yeah, Pearl Harbor Memorial would be good too. But I mean, just some of the natural stuff there. There's a place that I've been a couple times with my friend Matt one because he lives on the Big Island, and there's a place on the other side of the Big Island called Waipio Valley. It is literally the most beautiful place you've ever seen in your life. Big river running down the middle of it. It's all green, beautiful, and lush. Hey, Susan, good to see you. The day is going fine so far. I've tried the wireless mouse and wireless keyboard routine. I don't know. A mouse is one thing. I guess I have a wireless mouse on my laptop at work, and I guess technically I have one here too on this computer here. But I kind of prefer the wired mouse, and not really into the wireless keyboards either. You're changing the batteries too often. I guess if you're going to be like sitting in an easy lazy boy chair or something like that and typing on a screen that's 20 feet away from you, then maybe a wireless keyboard's the way to go. But I don't know. Usually when I'm doing something, I'm just on the computer here, just sitting at the desk there. Yeah, Logitech does some good stuff. I've got a lot of Logitech keyboards and mice and stuff like that. Yeah, I have a wireless printer, and I like that because that's kind of neat. Because what I have is I have the computer over here, and the printer's over way over here. You can actually see it right there. Now I gotta get my bearings right here. That black thing right there, that's the printer. It just sits under the table there, and it connects wirelessly to the computer. And I can actually print from any computer. I can print from the laptop I'm on. Supposedly, I can print from my cell phone. Get a wireless mouse named Mickey. Which courtroom drama is that? Oh, yeah, I haven't really. I know she's involved in some sort of a scandal. but I haven't really followed it that closely. Fannie Willis. Good talking to you, Mark. Hope to see you soon, next week maybe, if you can pull it off. That sounds like something that happened to me, Eric, on our area, on my AC here. It stopped working and the thermostat went blank. It turns out in my case, there was this little floater valve at the bottom of the air conditioning unit. And what happens is if condensation works its way into it, the floater valve floats and it shuts off the power to that. You might want to look at that. It might not be that hard to do. It's just going to be a little piece of plastic that sticks out of the side of the air conditioner unit, and you can usually unscrew the bottom part. Drain the water out of it, dry everything off, put it back together. That might fix the problem by itself. I did a vlog on that a year or two ago. You could look it up if you want, see what it looks like. It wouldn't surprise me because I've run into that problem a couple times. And what ends up happening is when it gets wet in there, it shuts off the power to the AC. I was thinking I might do a cooking vlog today. We had a recipe that was put on the Facebook page this morning that looked really good. That's a good way to suggest a recipe too. I've done a few ice cream vlogs. The one I was most impressed with was the peach ice cream. That was so good. And I did Rocky Road and I did vanilla. They were all good. Yeah, the Rocky Road was good. It is fun having an ice cream maker, though. You're making blackberry ice cream. That actually sounds good. It Fresh berries all the way from Mexico. Yeah, ice cream is good. Yeah, I'm hoping that my berries do better this time. You remember I planted some blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, and this time I think they're still alive. I got them in the pot. Yeah, that's true. You got to deal with the thorns on those things, but that's okay. Wine cooler in the ice cream maker. Okay. Good talking to you, Gene. See you next week. If I replace the pool with trees, a lemon tree is probably one of the trees I want to put in. There's enough times where I'd like to have fresh lemons off a tree. I'm thinking, lemons, peaches, oranges, maybe. I don't know. Make some ice cubes for my vodka drink. Well, what I do is kind of freeze my vodka before I start the live stream anyway. That's something I don't have to worry about. A lot of space in this yard. That's one of the things I really like about it. How about making wine? I'm not a wine drinker, so I wouldn't be the person to do that. If I was going to brew something, I'd brew some beer. I have thought about it. See, the same reason I'm not going to grow coffee. I don't drink coffee, so not for me. I don't know. I think they're a little sensitive about moonshine here in the South, but beer would be fun. Go underground. Yeah, there you go. All you gotta do is chip through all that limestone down there. Grapes would be fun to try too, but I don't know. That seems a little intimidating. I think maybe to me. That's cool. Commemorative limited edition wine for your wedding. Yeah, that's what I figured. Grapes wouldn't do well in this area where it gets so cold, where it can snow and get ice storms and stuff like that. I've driven through Napa Valley. Like I said, I'm not a wine person, so I didn't stop there. Yeah, the wine tasting thing, that was something my parents were into. My parents would go on like wine tasting tours, and they'd go to half a dozen wineries in an area, and they'd walk away with a couple $100 worth of wine from every one of them. I don't know, wine tasting. I kind of had There was something at Disneyland in the California Adventure Park that happened for a while. I don't know if they still do it. It was usually in like April or something like that. The California Adventure would have their food and wine festival in the park. And since I was right around when my mom's birthday was, I would always take her over there because she liked the wine and all that. And I remember I drank a bunch of wine. By the time I got to the end of the day, I was like sleeping. I prefer beer. Sip wine, binge on beer. Yeah. Well, I agree with the second part. There's plenty of people out there that will enjoy the wine, so that's fine. You're a dry rye drinker, huh? I've had a couple. At some point you get to the point where the flavor is altered too much. I like the taste of beer, of a good beer, and the ones I like, tend to be in the 5 to 8% range. But I've had a couple 15% beers. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Germany tends to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, German beer is good. Yeah, I don't follow the let's drink it warm nonsense. I'll drink like Guinness from time to time. It's a little heavy uh, and very bitter, but it's still got to be cold. I know they say you got to drink Guinness warm. It's like no, I've done that. I respect your right to drink your beer warm, but I want mine cold. It's snowing and blowing good there, huh? Yeah, see, I keep the beer in the fridge and a bunch of frosty mugs in the freezer. So when I'm having a beer, it's gotta be out of a frosty mug. Well, I've done that too a little bit. If I have like a a six pack that isn't been in the fridge and I need real quick, I'll throw it in the freezer for about an hour, and that usually works pretty well. Then the combination of that and the icy frosty mug, it actually begins to freeze the beer just slightly, and it's like drinking a slushy, a beer slushy. What did you think of the Lawnmower Man? I thought the book was better. They completely they completely changed the movie, and changed the book for the movie. There was nothing about AI or virtual reality or anything like that. It was a strange movie. I was really eager to see that one just because, I was such a Stephen King fan at the time, and had read the book and I thought the book was pretty good. There are better Stephen King adaptation movies to see. Some of the Stephen King books make the transition to TV or movies, and some do not. Well, that's it. They completely changed the book. Yeah, Salem's Lot was okay. But I mean, I think my favorite of his Carrie is definitely excellent. I can't imagine anyone playing the main character but Sissy Spacek. Um, the original version of The Stand, the TV miniseries, is great. I love that one. Um, let's see, what else do I like? The Green Mile is great. Shawshank Redemption is great. Stand by Me is great. Christine never really liked the movie. The book was great. Same with Cujo. And actually, kind of the same with Pet Cemetery too. The book was good. The movie, not so much. Dead Zone, the original one with what's his name? It's Christopher Walken, isn't it? Shining. I didn't like The Shining. The Shining was a little weird. Yeah, the book The Shining is great. Thinner, I liked the book. Didn't really, wasn't really into the movie. Tommy Knockers, that was a great book. That was probably one of his best. Yeah, not so much into Anne Rice. Yeah, well, I mean, there's just some of the stories that Stephen King does that are just a little bit too intense, I think, to make the transition to the screen, the big screen. Yeah, I love the Green Mile. Yes, he is an oddball. It was another good book that I don't think I wasn't really into any of the movies. Oh yes, he does. Unfortunately, too many people in the entertainment industry are of that persuasion. Well, that's why the book was really good on the Tommy Knockers. You're right; it was really abstract in the movie, kind of hard to follow. Wasn't really into Dolores Claiborne. I think that was sort of the getting to the point where I was getting out of Stephen King books. In fact, there's I don't know half a dozen Stephen King books I have in my collection I never read because it got to the point. My parents and people who knew me and all that, my godmother and stuff like that, they all knew I was a Stephen King fan. So even after I kind of stopped reading Stephen King, they continued getting me books. So I have, like I said, a number of like first edition Stephen King books that I've never even read. And 11 November 63 is one of those. I have that. I've never read it. Those are the best kinds of mistakes. Yeah, like I said, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. I'd consider the books on audio or books on tape or books on CD thing, except for the fact that I'm not in the car long enough to make it, pay off. That would be a cool collectible item. Even if you're not into The Shining, getting Stanley Kubrick's copy of it would is really cool. That's the only thing I got like that compares to that is I have Jordan's copy of his script from Christmas with the Corunces. Yeah, I don't know. I've I think I read a little politics right now. That's about it. Not really into biographies or even like fiction these days. Yeah, yeah. The grandfather clock is pretty close to being 100%. I'm just dialing in the timing right now. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've read like a biography of a rock star. Yeah, I think the last rock star biography books I read were about Kurt Cobain and Marilyn Manson. You talking about the glass, Darth? Yeah, we they found something similar. I mean, to get the exact artwork is going to be difficult, but they found something similar. And basically, I guess the glass itself you can get that pretty easily, and then they get these labels that are basically attached to the inside of the glass. And we picked out a new image that was as close as I could get to what the original was, and I'll probably keep an eye out for it. It turns out the clock itself isn't as unique as I thought it was. First off, I used to think it was something that come over from Sweden or something like that with the great grandparents, but apparently it was made in Connecticut, and it's about 140 years old. So that's kind of cool, but it isn't worth an enormous amount of money because apparently they made a lot of them. So, and it's funny. I was actually once I found out the name of the company. I think somebody last week on the live stream said, "Hey, is the name of the company like on the front somewhere?" And I went and looked after the live stream. I think I went and looked during the live stream, and there was, but I couldn't read what it was. And then I went and looked afterwards and did a little research on it. And the company existed for many years after that clock. In fact, was built. In fact, I think the company got absorbed by another clock manufacturer in the 60s. And basically, that's all she wrote. But I did find a couple people online that are selling the clock, and they're not asking a lot of money for it. They're asking $200 for it. They're not selling them. So I thought at some point that if I really want to have that original glass piece back, go buy one of these junk clocks here online and just move the glass. Well, that's it exactly, Rhonda. I could buy a replacement for a couple $100, but I'm going to spend close to six to get this one fixed. And it's not because of the value of the clock; it's because of the sentimental value. It's been in the family for a long time. My uncle tells me that it was in his bedroom when he was a kid, and at one point he pulled it off the wall and took it apart, and it didn't work again right, I guess, until my mom and dad had it repaired about 15 years ago when they took possession of it. Because they got it right after, I think it was in my grandmother's house, my mom's house. And so when my grandmother on that side passed away, my mom got it. And I guess it sat packed away for a while, and then they finally fixed it, and it was in the family room for many many years until my parents moved out, and then it went to uh, Northern California with my mom, and now it's here. So yeah, a lot of history with that one. I definitely want to keep that one going, and the fact that it works pretty well except for the chimes, you know, and the chimes. The only problem is the spring broke. So the guy that has it is gonna get the spring replaced. And I guess they decided there's two springs in there. There's one for the chimes and one for the clock mechanism. And he recommends just replacing both of them because if one's gone, the next one's going to probably go pretty quick anyway. And it's like $90 for one spring or $125 for both of them. Because I guess most of the work isn't the cost of the part itself, but the taking the clock apart so you can do it. If you're going to take the clock apart, you might as well replace both of them. So, hey Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Here, it looks like you're getting a little rain today. I don't know. Was the sermon today about Noah and the flood? Because that would be really timely. Yeah, we were looking at it because Rhonda mentioned it was snowing up there, and so we pulled up the radar and looked at it. And then somebody mentioned there was another storm coming into California, and I just happened to notice what was happening in Florida. The whole state of Florida right now is covered, and it looks like you're going to get rain for a while. It's not stopping anytime soon. At least a couple more hours, and it looks like the storm's kind of building. Is yeah, I see it's coming still. Get the screen all caught up here. Yeah, you can see the storm right there. Goes all the way down to the tip of Mexico. So yeah, unless you're in the panhandle, you're getting drenched today. Yeah, I guess that's where he is or was. I mean, I know with Jordan, a lot of times what he does is he'll shoot videos and it'll be weeks later that he actually posts them. So he was in Florida. Who knows where he is now? Yeah, that's sort of what's going on with this clock too. I was noticing I got to do some adjustments on the cuckoo clock. The cuckoo clock is like 45 minutes slow, so the pendulum must have slipped down. Okay, so you're getting the rain too, Spaniel Mom. Because basically, unless you're in the panhandle of Florida, you're getting rain today. Got a snowblower out for 10 centimeters of snow? Whatever. We're losing Charlotte, huh? You're getting pelted in Venice, huh? Who knows? Maybe it's Venice, Italy. Yeah, that is something nice about when it's raining. It's good nap weather. I spent a week or two in Orlando area once for a trade show I attended. Visited Disney World. That was the only time I've ever been there. Well, this was like 30 years ago, so might have been a little less crazy. Yeah, but rain is especially good nap weather. I mean, yeah, there's always time to have a good nap, but nothing compares to taking a nap to the gentle sound of rain on the roof. Job's doing really good. It's a lot of work. Still got a lot to learn, but I'm figuring things out every day and really enjoying it, and really like seeing the paychecks each week. Well, that's good. Good. These snow blowing your driveway. That's nice of them. Yeah, yeah. I'm really happy with the job. Learning new things. That's always been a big thing with me. I get bored with things after a while, and so it's always good to find something new to entertain me and to keep my brain active. And right now, there's all sorts of stuff to learn that keeps it fun. Hi, Kimberly. Oh, man, I'm through both my waters here. Good to see you, Rhonda. I hope you can show up again next week. It's always a lot easier for me doing the live stream when Rhonda's here. Bye, Logan. I'm assuming it's Logan because Charlotte is nodding off, right? Yeah, and there's lots of diagnosis that I have to do in my job. So, yeah, keeping the brain active, and multitasking when everything's blowing up around you, it keeps things interesting. Keep punching my laptop here. Bye, Suzanne. Yeah, we're gonna check this one out here pretty quick too. Oh, that's because it's one here. Yeah, I've been on the Waco Bridge a bunch of times. I love that thing. I love that we have something like that in town. Am I sleeping well? Not at the moment, but um, I'm gonna probably go with Jeff here and take a nice little nap when we get done with the live stream here. That does sound actually really good right now. Nice little nap. Yeah, this is Texas. So yeah, that's one of the advantages of the grandfather clock now is you'll always know what time it is here on the live streams. Yeah, I know. A nap sounds really good right now. Probably do that in a minute or two. All right. So Yeah, last chance on this live stream to say something, or else you're gonna have to hold your peace until next week. I did drain the pool this year. Yeah, I'm making this. I got to make the decision whether I'm going to keep the pool or not, because it's just kind of getting to the point right now that every time we get into pool season, then it starts having there's some other problem I got to deal with, and so I don't know if I'm going to make a decision this year or if we're going to just go without the pool this summer and see how much I miss it, and then make a decision next year. And even if I get to the point where I make the decision this summer that, yeah, I'd really like to have the pool, we could still maybe have it reinstalled or repaired this summer and get going on it again. I'm definitely in the heart of Texas. Absolutely. Good seeing you, Yvonne. Hope to see you again next week. Good seeing you too, Jeff. New job isn't upsetting the sleep. If anything, it helps it because I'm running around like a lunatic all day long, and so I'm tired when I get home. But I think a lot of it is also sort of psychological because I know, okay, well, I may not be really tired yet, but 4:30 comes early, and I got to be, I got to be ready to do that. So last night, for instance, when I got home, I was up until probably midnight, and so I'll do that when I can. But yep, deep in the heart of Texas. See you, Darth. Yeah, and I may find it essential here to this summer when it starts getting hot. I do know that when I would go out for my nightly hikes last summer and last couple of summers, I kind of work up a little bit of sweat because even at night here in the middle of summer, it's 90 degrees or 85 degrees or something like that. So after a nice like hike, it really felt good to get in the pool and cool off. So I may decide I have to go with the pool again, but I don't know. We're gonna make that decision when we make it. Anyway, I think I'm going to take Jeff's advice and take a nap right now. So we're going to pull the plug on this one. Thanks, everyone. I had a great time today. Hope you did too. And I will see you next week. Good night, everyone.